Hi there, this video is a demonstration on how to make a bustle for an A-line wedding dress that has lace applique and a tulle skirt. We wanted an invisible bustle, so we didn't want to have the standard pickups on the outside. We just wanted the dress to look like it flows to the ground without any extra interruptions in the overall design. So I'll show you how to do this in the video. So for the bustle, I'm just using these white hooks and eyes because they match the lace color. And then this thread is just the thickest thread that I could find, a good strong white thread. So that should work perfectly. So the first step in bustling the train was to take the long end point here, and I went up a few buttons, and it'll just depend on what height you want it to be for the bride. And then I just sewed in a little clip there, and then I took that first line and I went all the way up to just right under the zipper. So that was step one. I just took that clip from the bottom and I went to about just right under the zipper with the lace applique, and I sewed a tack. You can sort of see it in there, but that was just the second part of the tack to get it to tack up, so where the buttons would lay flat and the lace would also lay flat. The next step in bustling the train was to get the sides to also go underneath the dress in order to look flat and not interrupt the design overall of the dress. So I'm going to do the same thing with the sides, and I'm going to place a tack there, a hook, and then I'm going to take it and hook it up under the center part of the applique. So here's one of the sides, and I just went to the seam and I went right underneath, and then you can see where I just sewed on another one of those hooks, and I'm going to take it to the center point right under the lace applique, and I'm going to do that on both sides so that each side comes in and meets underneath in the middle. So I took the one side point in and I hooked it right under here in the lace applique, so you can't tell that it's sewn on there. And then I need to also take this side and go ahead and meet that in the middle. So right here on the side seam, you can see where I sewed the marker. This is just a regular hook under here, and you can see that sewn to the underside, and I'm just going to hook it under the lace applique. For height, I just chose a section of the lace applique where I could sew in the underside of the hooks, so you can see those there through the layer of tulle, and I just have one for each side of the dress and they tack in. So you can see here that the back part of the train is all tucked up underside, and again, that is because there are two hooks on the inside of that applique, and then each side comes in and hooks to the center, and then it's actually easiest to take in the sides first and then take that bottom part of the train and pull it all the way up and then hook it underneath the zipper section. I just put it right underneath that applique. So the back looks nice, but then you can see that the sides are still kind of long on the outsides. So the final step was to take the edges, which were still sticking out, and I went to the seam, and then on the underside of the seam, just right inside, I sewed another hook, and then a couple inches up, you can see where I sewed another tack just underneath there. So depending on how far you need it to go up, your bride's height is how far you need to take the sides in. And I found that tulle will pretty much do what you tell it to do. So once this section is folded up, the rest of it will just sort of follow suit and stay folded. So this is my completed bustle for the Allure Romance A-line dress with lace applique and a tulle skirt. It has buttons down the back, which we wanted to maintain in the overall design of the bustle, so we didn't want to interrupt that process with putting a bustle on the outside. So this is an invisible under bustle. It has 3 points in the back. So the first point is right under the zipper, and underneath is that tack to take up the first layer. The sides are brought in to this point of the lace applique, and underneath is the tack. And then on both sides, because it stuck out too far, I went ahead and put in those tacks on the side, and it just keeps this tulle just sort of fluff up under there, and it wants to sit however you tell it. So it does take some fluffing to get it to sit just right, but then from the front it looks this way, and again you just have to fluff the front and get it to do whatever you want it to do. So hopefully this video is helpful in helping you bustle an A-line wedding dress with lace applique.